Hello everyone and welcome to this month's vlog. It is February and things are starting to pick up a little bit in the shop, and I do have a few things that I need to make, including some reed diffusers this week. I also have a ton of soap that needs to be wrapped and put out on the shelf, and a lot of those soaps are the ones that we made in the last vlog, so I'm going to give you an update on a couple of those, because if anyone watched that last vlog, you know I had a few issues with a couple of the soaps and we were doing a little bit of testing and experimenting too, so I'll show you how I've gone with those. Now before we actually do dive into doing the work down the shop, I am actually in the office at home. I'm going to do a few things before heading out, but I also had a comment that was left on the last vlog which I thought I would address. Well, I said I would actually show the person. It came from Northern Winds and it was right at the beginning, and she asked where I was getting all my earrings because you see the collection and that sort of thing. I've had a love of earrings for a very, very long time. It pretty much comes from my mum. My mum always used to wear really fun earrings. It was in a time before we had all the acrylic and clay earrings, but she always used to have really nice silver and stone earrings, and some pretty fun ones as well for back in the time. We're talking like the 80s and 90s, and she always had fun earrings, and then my kind of love for that sort of evolved from there. But for many years I actually couldn't wear my really fun earrings that I had because I was working in the hospitality industry, and at that time things like earrings and tattoos and other piercings were very much frowned upon in the industry, not so much these days. So I wasn't really able to wear any fun earrings while I was working, and then when I was working from within the shed, or from home, I very rarely put my fun earrings in because, well, I was at home and no one else was going to get to enjoy them with me. Since opening up the shop, I decided to dig out some of those fun earrings and I started wearing them, and then I kind of found even more fun ones that I made today using the acrylics and the clays and everything else. And my little collection, which I've got right in front of me here, has really grown in the last couple of years, and Northern Winds did want to know things like where did I get them from, how many do I have, and things like that. So I'm going to show you my little collection, or what's actually on my board. I do have other pieces which are not on my board here, but I will show you what I've got. Okay, so here is just one side of my earring board here, and you can see there are so many different types of earrings. We've got some really nice little dress earrings that I wear when we're going out places, and then I have the really fun acrylic and clay ones as well for when I'm at work, or maybe we're just going out somewhere fun. So there's all sorts of different ones in here. I do tend to prefer hooks because they are easier on my ears, especially now that I've had the second hole pierced to my ear. It's very hard for me to wear studs because the two earrings clash and then they hurt, so I can really only wear studs that have got like little studs on them. But I do prefer to have my dangly earrings, and plus they just always look more fun when they're dangling. They are from all sorts of places. Some of these my husband has given to me. So we've got, this was a beautiful pair he gave me for my birthday. To think about that one. So those ones were for my birthday. He's bought me these little ones in here. It was when we did a trip down to Coffs Harbour. He got me those. And then there's a few, we've got some from my mum when they went to New Zealand. There's all sorts of different ones in here. These little lion print ones, these were a birthday present from my mum and my dad when we went to a lion safari when we used to live up in Cairns. And these, another nice pair from my mum as well. A lot of the acrylic ones I have bought for myself. I buy all those fun ones, but a lot of these are the really dainty ones from either my parents or from hubby. And I'm one of these people that when we actually go on holiday, I'm more likely to collect earrings than things like postcards and snow globes and stuff. Earrings is my thing to collect. So we've got things like, I've collected these when we went down to Melbourne, and also got these when we were down in Victoria from, it was sea glass from one of the beaches. So a lot of my earrings do actually have meaning. So that's one. So these ones were given to me by my friend in Perth, and quite funny because these are from a place called Stomping Elephant, and they're actually local to me, and my friend in Perth got them for me and sent them to me for Christmas They're super cute. They go with so many of my clothes there. So this is just one side of the rack, and then I have this side as well. These are some earrings that I used to wear before I got the second hole pierced in my ears, but now I actually can't wear them because the studs are too big and they just hurt and pull. But I have kept them because I'm thinking I might try and put them onto some hooks. And then I've got all my little festive ones along here as well. Most of my earrings are from local businesses, or at least Australian businesses. So a lot of my clay ones come from Wickedly Goods. A lot of these bright acrylic ones are from a place called Candy Tree. And there are a few other sort of companies in there as well. These little wooden ones are from another little local maker here in the Redlands where I am. So yeah, there's an awful lot of earrings. These ones down here, these are perhaps among some of my favorites. I actually made these ones. I took my mum for a jewelry making class and I made these earrings myself, came up with the design. We were given some silver, I had some pearls, and yeah, that was what I created, and I absolutely love them because they are so unique, and I did them myself, but I do save those from when we're going out to nice places. But yeah, Northern Winds, there is my, well, part of my earring collection. I do have some others which are studs, which I've had for many years, which are actually in my jewelry box because they just get lost on here, and they are so old that I really don't actually want to lose them because they are basically irreplaceable. So that is a good part of my earring collection there. I do love being able to change up and wear fun earrings, because things like these ones, these are some little clouds. I wear these on rainy days and it always brings a smile to people's faces, and they're always a really good conversation starter as well. And as someone who is always a bit shy about starting conversations, it's good to have something like this to actually get that conversation flowing. So yeah, there it is. Now that I've shown you that, I'm going to get onto the computer, do a little bit of work, and then we're going to head down to the shop and we're going to start that working week. So I've just finished packing a weekend order from Sharon, who's one of my Pamper Club members. So that's going to go off to you this afternoon. I've also put away everything that I bought down to the shop, which included some ingredients. I bought down some olive oil and other bits and pieces, some new molds. I've got a couple of emails that I need to go and tend to, and then first job I'm going to do are my reed diffusers. I like to do them at the beginning of the week when it's still quiet, so they get filled up. Generally, reed diffusers need at least 48 hours to kind of meld all the fragrance and the base together. So I like to do it at the beginning of the week, so when we get to the end of the week where it's busier and people are buying them, they are ready to go. I also never let my diffusers get down below one bottle if I can help it, so the one at the front is always the most cured. So I've got a couple where I've only got one left on the shelf, so we're going to go and make some of those up once I've done my emails. Alright, so I really haven't got much done today. I have just pulled out all of the reed diffuser stuff. I've worked out which ones I need to do, so I'm going to make those. It is about 20 minutes before my usual lunchtime, so I'm determined to actually get something done before I have lunch. I have just had a customer come in, but before her I had another lady come in. Oh God, did she get cranky at me? She came in, I was actually on a phone call. It was quite an important phone call. Normally if it's family or friends, I will hang up and call them back later, but obviously you can't do that with other customers. So I went to say to her, or mouth to her, I'll be with you in a moment, and she asked me if I had lemon myrtle essential oil, and I said no because I don't, and then she just got cranky and stormed out the door. It's just like, I don't know what to do now. So yeah, it's like, okay, we'll just laugh at that, you know, you can't have everything. But there we go, and I've just had another couple of lovely ladies come in who have actually just purchased some stuff. So I'm going to get on to making the diffusers that I need to. I was doing the emails and got a little bit waylaid with them because I got one yesterday. It's actually been making me feeling quite worried. I got one yesterday on my day off. We weren't at home, so it was very little I could actually do about it. And it was from the agency, and they said, we've had a higher than normal water usage rate notice come through. Can you please check if you've got any leaking taps and let us know? And I was a little bit worried because I knew there are currently no leaking taps. But when I had the 2-week break earlier this year, like over Christmas, New Year, when I came back into the shop, I realised that the little sink that's in the toilet area must be leaking. And the reason I kind of came up with that conclusion, it's actually quite a small sink, so every time you wash your hands you can't help but get water onto the side of the sink, and I don't always wipe it up because I get bored doing that. But when I was away for those 2 weeks, no one's using that sink, so the sink should have been dry, and there wasn't. There was a pool of water sitting around the tap. And when I looked, there was a tiny drip that was coming down and then running underneath the metalwork and pooling on the thing. It's all been fixed now because, you know, these things happen. Washers, you know, deteriorate and that sort of thing. It's all been fixed and it's not dripping anymore. Now, I can't tell you how long it was dripping for. I just know it wasn't for very long because I hadn't noticed any, you know, sort of real build-up of water in between washing of hands and stuff, so I wasn't too worried about it. Didn't say anything to the agent because, well, from past experience, I know that they wouldn't have done anything about it anyway. It would have just come back at me, so let's just save the heartache, the stress and the emails and fix it myself anyway. So I've got this email and I'm thinking, oh my god, it must have been leaking for far longer than I realised. I'm going to get stung for excess water. Or if I don't tell them that there was a leak that I fixed, they're probably going to send me a bill because I'm using more water than what they think is reasonable, which I don't actually use a lot of water because I purchase most of it to make my soaps and creams and stuff. I actually don't use a lot of water. So I was starting to get really, really nervous, and I went around, double checked everything, wrote back to them and told them the story, and also did say to them, I didn't bother telling you guys that I'd fixed it. I said, because I knew from past experience it was going to come down to me anyway. So I did all that, and then I get this email back. Here's me really worried about getting a excess water charge, and he says, oh sorry, I sent this to the wrong person. Don't worry. It's like, oh, you are kidding me. I've just spent the last at least 12 hours fretting over this water and he sent it to the wrong person. So I don't know if there's someone else in the building who has had a leak and they don't know, or if he's just sent it to the entire wrong building to start with. So, but that was a bit of a relief for me. So it took me a little bit to get all that sorted while I went round and double checked all the taps. I even checked the toilet. I put some water dispersible latex dye into the system of the toilet to make sure that it wasn't leaking down the back of the actual toilet. So now when I flush the toilet, it's got bright pink water in it. It's very funny, but you know, that's a really good way to actually see. I didn't have any toilet duct or anything like that, or even toilet blocks. Another way of actually discovering if you do have a leak in that system area is to put like a toilet block, like one of the blue ones in there, and if you can see blue water then dribbling down through the toilet, it means you've got a leak. So I didn't have any of that, so I just put some water dispersible dye. I should go and put some blue, and then I can at least have some purple water in my toilet for however long that's gonna last. But anyway, that is one crisis diverted. I then went to go and do an order for some new bags. I need to get some new paper bags. I've been getting them printed because it just saves so much time. It actually does hurt me to sit there and stamping my paper bags and, you know, or sticking stickers on there. It does take a lot of stress on my shoulders and things, so I've actually started getting them printed. It does increase the cost of the paper bags by probably about, I think it's about 70 cents more to do it, but to have them done quickly and that sort of thing, it's well worth it to me. So I went to go and order those, and as I was looking at the website to see, because they've actually got a new website now, this company I use, I was looking around. I'm trying to get my diffuser stuff to come out. It's a bit stiff. I noticed that they are now doing, well, I don't know if it's something new or if it's always done it and I've just not read it. You can get custom sized bags printed as well, so you don't have to just keep to what they've got. So I've actually just messaged them to see if I can get some. I have these big orange tote bags. I can't get that to turn off today. I don't know why. I'll go and grab one and show you. I have all these big orange tote bags that I give out with the bigger orders. So if people have got quite a number of candles that I don't want to put in paper bags, they'll go into these. Or if they're, you know, too big for, show you everything, or too big for this size bag, they'll go into these, and these are actually quite reasonable. These actually cost me less than these to get printed, so you know, it doesn't make much sense in my head, but there you go. So while I was looking at it, I'm thinking, well, I wonder, seeing as these cost less than these to get printed, I wonder how much it will actually cost to get these made in this size, and then I can actually have matching bags, so a matching smaller tote for small purchases and then the bigger tote for bigger purchases. So I'm hoping, if anything, the smaller tote size will be either the same price as getting the paper bags printed or the same price as the bigger tote, even though it's smaller, because it is custom made. You're going to pay a little bit more to get a size that doesn't generally go through their system. So he said he will actually get me a quote together and he'll send that through a little bit later for me today. So I'll be really interested to see what they come up with. So I got really because I sent out off a email quote, and that was actually who called me when this other lady came in, and I really couldn't hang up, or I couldn't get him to wait because he was going 10 to the dozen telling me all these options and stuff. But anyhow, we'll see. I'll let you know what they say. I don't actually have many of these diffusers to make up. I've only got 6 of these and we're pretty much almost done. I've just got 2 more to fill up, and then I've got 3 refill bottles, and then they're done. So we'll get them labelled on the shelf, and then I'm going to stop and have a little bit of lunch, I think. I know I haven't really done much, but I still actually need to take a lunch break. It's so important when you are working for yourself to make sure that you keep up those sort of social norms that you would have if you were working in a normal job, and that means taking that half an hour lunch break. Sometimes I only take 15 minutes, but I do make sure that I sit down and I take that time to have a lunch break and reset my mind. And then I usually get more done in the afternoon. So I just have to fill these bottles up. They require a little bit more concentration. So I'm going to get those done and then have some lunch. had some lunch, and for the rest of the afternoon I'm basically going to start wrapping and packing up all these soaps that are on the cure rack. I've got 9 of them which I can actually wrap and put into their little boxes. I knew that they were going to be ready this week, so I had a little bit of quiet time last week and I started preparing the holster boxes that my soaps go into. So I've put all the sort of names of the soaps on the front, and some of them, like with this box here, I have to also stick an ingredients label on. These are generally the ones that have like exfoliating bits or essential oils, milks, any of the extra things I put in. And then I have other boxes here, like this one here is for my decorative soaps, and my decorative soaps always have the same ingredients in them, they just have the decoration. So I have the list already printed on the box, so I only have to stick what the name is on the front there. So I have got all of those already prepared in there. A lot of the soaps there we actually did make in last month's vlog, and I said I would give you some updates on them. So I'm going to go grab a few of those off the rack and I will show them to you. Alright, so I've picked up one each of the ones that we made last month. Not really much to show with that one. That was the oatmeal, milk and honey one that I've made. I did do a video on that as well. Nice, plain, simple soap. Not much to really show. You can see on this one there's still a tiny bit of the gel ring look across the top, but the rest of it, for anyone that saw the video, the gel ring has really disappeared on it. I also did a new under the sea batch here, and you can see that glacial clay really does hold its beautiful green color, and the darker one is some spirulina. That is George messaging me on my phone. I also made a calamine one which has got a really nice essential oil blend in it, and it does have that little white swirl through. It smells really nice. Now what else have we got? I did a remake hey George, I did a remake of that gardenia. Not much difference between it, but I thought I'd show it anyway. And then we've got the ones where I said I would give those sort of updates. The first one is my pine tar soap, and you can see this is one of the ones with the beautiful swirls, and we've got 2 very distinct colors in there, so it will probably darken just a little bit more while it's sitting on the shelf, but otherwise we've got those beautiful swirls. Now a lot of people did come over onto Patreon to come and get the recipe for this soap, and a lot of people have tried it and said they've had success. There have been a few who have said that it's still accelerated on them, and one of the key things to doing a pine tar soap is temperature that you are actually soaping at. Pine tar gets really thick the colder it gets, so if you're not soaping at a higher temperature, it is going to thicken, it's going to accelerate, it's going to give false trace and all that sort of stuff. But you also don't want to be too hot, because that's going to accelerate it as well. You really do need to find that perfect working temperature to get that nice fluid pine tar pour, so you can get those really nice swirls. I also did the Patreon design one, which was this cocoa nuts one, which has got coconut milk powder, coconut water, coconut shell, coconut oil, and scented with coconut lime, so very coconut. I did have a piece which I've taken home to do a test lather on it, and it feels beautiful. If I remember, I will show you that test lather, because the bar's at home. I will show you the creamy lather that you actually get off this, which is surprising given that it is a coconut soap. They're generally not creamy, but I think the milk powder that's in there really makes it creamy. It doesn't feel drying, it feels silky smooth, really, really nice. And then we had, this is my alpha soap. I'll go and get the one that's actually on the shelf, because I do still have a couple of them left. So when I made this, I mentioned that the first time I made my alpha soap, which is this one here, it moved really quickly on me and I really couldn't get the swirl through it. And it only darkened a little. You can see it's got like a purple tinge to the soap, and then the sort of teal and the black have stayed the colors that they were. Smells really good. Now it's exactly the same bottle of fragrance oil, but when I made it last month, it stayed beautiful and fluid, so I could get the colors, but it certainly didn't hold the purple color like it did last time. It has gone that sort of grey purpley color. It's not terrible. People are still going to buy it. It smells really good, and it's got that beautiful swirl through it as well. But it's just, this is just one of the reasons why I very, very rarely follow reviews of fragrance oils out there, because it changes every single time that you use them, and it is all very dependent upon things like what your recipe is. One fragrance oil will work really well in one person's soap formula, whereas it won't work in another one. In this case, mine were the same soap formulas. I'm thinking the real difference, I'm just trying to see if I can see the batch date on here. I'm thinking the actual real difference on here is the time of year that I made them. This one was made when it was much hotter, so I think that that's really helped with the fluidity of the soap batter, whereas this one, according to this, I made it when it was a bit cooler, in the cooler months, so that probably didn't help, made it thicken up a little bit. In terms of why it's discolored, maybe I didn't put quite as much purple, I don't know, but that's why I don't follow reviews on fragrances, because they never behave the same twice in your own soap, so they're not going to behave well between everyone's recipes. But anyhow, it's always good to give things a go and, you know, work out what works for you. The other one I did was this Attitude, and I'm actually really quite pleased with it. It was meant to have a teal color, and when we cut it, it was quite dark on the outside. It wasn't green, it was almost a browny green, quite dark on the outside, and the middle was that bright teal that I was going after. But now it's been sitting there and curing, you can see it's gone this beautiful emerald dark green color, but it's even the whole way, and it hasn't actually gone brown. So I'm really pleased with how that one's come up, and the fragrance, it is held so strong in there, which I was really surprised at how strong that is in that soap. So that's going to be a really nice one to have. And then the final soap that we actually made was this one here, and this was the test one I wanted to do with the chia seeds, and it was one of those things that I'd heard lots of things about using chia seeds in soap. Some people have told me that they were going to swell up. Some people said years ago when they first became a thing, well, when they first started really hitting the market for consumption, they've been around for centuries, but when people first started to question about using it in soap, people used to say they sprouted. So I've always had visions of chia seed all over my soap, but that hasn't happened, and they haven't swollen either. You can see there's that tiny little one sitting on the top, and it's no bigger than what a chia seed is when it's dry. So the good result there is that they do not sprout chia and they do not swell in the soap. So I'm really happy. Oh, the only thing I would say, I wanted to use them as a really gentle exfoliation, which they are, but I probably, if I'm going to be using them in soap, I would use them at a higher quantity than I actually did in this one. You can feel that the exfoliation is there, but for me it's really nice. I don't like really scratchy stuff on my skin, but I think some people would prefer it to be just a little bit more exfoliating. But it is definitely a good way for me to use up some of these chia seeds that I've got at home, and I think, yeah, I've actually, when I got to about 3 weeks in on the cure of this, no, 2 weeks in on the cure of that soap, and realized I wasn't going to have any issues, I did actually create another one with it as well, because I was confident it wasn't going to do anything too funny, and I did put a little bit more of the chia seed in here, so there's going to be a bit more exfoliation in it, but really pleased. It's cost-wise, it is more cost-effective than adding things like poppy seeds, and also things like olive stone and stuff like that. So chia seeds, anyone that wants to have a go and are curious about it, I have had absolutely no problems and would highly recommend giving it a go. But what I'm going to do now is get all these soaps off that cure rack, get them wrapped up and get them put away. that is all of the soaps, all shrink wrapped, ready to be put away, but I've only got about 5 minutes till I need to go and pull everything in, so I'm not going to get those put away in time. I do have a couple of spaces over on the shelf, so a couple of those will actually go up onto the shelf as well, but I will be doing that tomorrow. Also tomorrow when I come in, I'm going to be doing the face scrub and the face serum, but I'm going to go start pulling my stuff in. I've only had one person come in today. It's been really quiet. I haven't even seen anyone walking by today, which is really weird. So I think I'm just going to give myself a 5-minute early mark, go up to the post office and then head on home to see hubby. Alright, so it's the next day. I'm really not sure how much work I'm going to get done today, and I've got a feeling I'm going to cave just after lunchtime and probably go home. I did not have a good night's sleep last night. It was terrible. They're doing some roadworks. They did some last year. They're basically tearing up the main road that runs through Mount Cotton and re-tarmacking the whole lot. And they did some of it last year, one section of it. And they're doing sections so they can detour people around it. And they did that one, and we got a bit of the noise from that roadwork. I feel really sorry for the people that were right along the front of this roadwork, and now they've moved up the street, and it's the bit like we're on a circuit and then this other road runs down here, and we're on top of the hill and the road's like down here, so they've just started digging up that bit of road as well. And they've been starting about 8:30 at night time, and I think they're going through till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning with the really heavy machinery. So they're literally digging up the old tarmac, and then they're going to replace it all. There are a lot of potholes, there's a lot of, you know, fixed bits of road, but all it's actually really achieved when they did the last bit of smoothing out of the road was giving a far more smoother surface for the hoons to hoon around on and not hit potholes. So it's a lot of noise. And it's not really going to benefit me much anyway, because I can avoid the potholes, but yeah, we then have to listen to the people hooning around on the road. But anyhow, they did start the work last night about 8:30. I was drifting in and out of sleep up until about 11 o'clock, and I could still hear them going, and I must have fallen asleep at some point. And then I woke up very early in the morning, like 1:30 sort of time, and it was hot, really, really hot. The air had gone really still, it had got really humid, it was disgusting. I couldn't hear any noise coming from the roadworks, so I don't know if they'd finished or if they're on a dinner break or what it was, but it was really, really hot, and I contemplated putting the air conditioning on, but I could actually hear that hubby was asleep, and he doesn't actually sleep a lot. He will drift in and out of sleep. He's awake, and you know, his mind just, he doesn't sleep very well, and when he does get to sleep, he wakes up very soon after actually physically falling asleep. So I could actually tell he was asleep, and I thought, I'm not going to get up and disturb him by shutting the doors and putting the air conditioning on, so I just lay there absolutely boiling hot. So I really didn't sleep well at all, but I've also woken up and it feels like I've had this heavy weight just sitting on my shoulders all night. It is so sore and tender, but it's not that sort of sore, you know, when you've slept wrong on your neck and you turn and you can feel it. It's almost like a stress headache right way across the back here. So I've got a feeling I get a lot of trapped nerves in my shoulders that send pins and needles down to my hands, and I've got a feeling that however I ended up sleeping last night, because I was so hot and I was probably, you know, spreading my arms to try and keep cool, I think I've actually just pulled all the muscles and stuff in the back of my shoulders. So I am hitting brick wall already for the day, so I don't think I'm going to get much done, so we'll see how we go. I did get a good laugh coming into work this morning though. I came up to the end of one of the roads that I'm at. There was already a car up at the set of lights, so I pulled up behind them, and I'm looking at this car, and there's this real cool guy in there, you know, arm across the back of the seat and all that sort of stuff, and I'm thinking, that car's not very nice, mate. He did have a P plate in his car. He's taken all the badges off the car. He's done a little bit of work to the car. See, I couldn't actually even tell you what make or model it was. And he's done all this work to the car. And when the lights have gone red, he's taken off so fast you would have thought he was driving a Tesla. and he's gone screaming off down the street, and whatever petrol he's got in the car is the wrong sort, because you could smell all the burn off. So he's either got he's either put the really good expensive petrol in the car and the car's not using it, or he's got one of the other petrols. You know, there's different grades of petrols, and like for the European cars you should be putting one of the grades in, and then the Australian cars we put another grade in, and most people don't realise that. But I thought, oh, that car's terrible. But he was gone. Like, he must have, it's an 80-kilometre zone, and he was gone. So he was definitely doing more than 100 down this road. And as I've tootled off doing my thing, and as I've gone, I turned left, and then I turned left, and I'm on another main road, and I'm thinking, oh, there's flashing lights up there, I wonder what's going on. And there he is with Mr. Plod. He's been pulled over, and they were going over his car. He would have had a speeding ticket, he would have tickets for his car. Oh, I just thought, oh, that's a good start to my day. How evil is that? It's just, they need to be pulled off the road, because they are dangerous if they actually hit someone. But it's so nice that when you do see these people like that, and there's never any police around to actually get them off the road, but this time they were there. So I had a good chuckle for the rest of the way in, so probably serves myself right. That's why I'm in so much pain today, because of being evil. Anyhow, I think what I need to do, I've got the air conditioning on, but I'm really heating up. So I think what we might be doing today is putting this soap away. I don't think I have a fever or anything. I think it's just been a really bad night's sleep. So I'm going to be okay to make things. So I think I might make the facial gel serum, because that sells so quickly, and I've only got 3 left on the shelf, so I definitely need to make some. And then I'll see if I have any energy to do anything else, and how busy it is out in the street. If it's not busy, I am going to go home. The only reason I actually didn't stay home this morning is because I was lying there about 20 past 6, and I thought, you know what, I'm just not going to go into work. I'm not going to get anything done. And then it got to 6:30, and I heard a drop saw go, and I thought, oh, someone's doing work. And I realised it was the neighbours next door. They've just put a pool in, and they're getting the fence done today. So I thought, nah, I'll go into work and go and sit in the air conditioning rather than listening to them do work. So hopefully, if I do go home at lunchtime, they will have finished the work. And it will be nice and peaceful, and I can start editing a video for an unboxing that I'm hopefully going to release my weekend while I'm doing this. So that's enough chatting. I'm so tired. I'm going to get this soap put away and then see how the rest of the day goes. So I did do my facial gel serum. It's a fairly easy recipe to make, doesn't take much thinking, but it has actually really drained me. So I don't think I'll be making anything else today. I can do the face scrub and the body wash tomorrow, that's fine. but I really don't want to make stuff and then mess it up and then waste ingredients and things like that. So I did take a bit of a risk making these, but these sell so quick. I really do need to keep on top of them. I'm just giving the tubes a little bit of a wipe down. I get all the gel on my hands while I'm trying to adjust the machine, and then all the tubes end up a bit slippery, so I just give them a bit of a wipe down with some rubbing alcohol, just to clean that residual off, and then the labels stick to them really well. Up until now, I've been putting my facial gel and my under eye cream in these little pump serum bottles, and I really like them, but I have decided they're a little bit too fiddly to fill and to label. So I've found these, which are like a little, they're another serum tube. They have what they call a penguin head, I think it is, or something like that, and I'm going to give this a go. It seems to actually pump out quite well, so it gives a really nice bit of the gel on your fingers to be able to rub in. So really happy with that. I am going to test it over the next month or so, because I do have enough tubes to last me for about a month's worth of production, and then if I don't have any problems with it pumping out, it doesn't clog and that sort of thing, I will probably then change over to these. They're going to be so much easier to actually label. I'll have to do some new different style of labels because these are a little bit too small, but I will be able to very quickly and easily label these. They're so much easier to fill, so I actually do end up with almost what's equivalent to one of these tubes wasted. I make enough to make 19 tubes, but only get I make enough to make 20 tubes, but only ever get 19 and a half out of them. So that's only actually half filled to what the volume would be. And it's because if I tried to put the mix into a piping bag like I do with a lot of my stuff, because the serum is actually quite fluid, it's really hard to control how fast it comes out of the piping bag, and it's really messy, and I actually I end up with about one whole tube, over one whole tube wasted, I think it is. So if I was making 20, I'd probably only get 18 and a bit out of them. So doing it in the lotion filling machine is a better option, because it's a lot quicker, a lot easier to fill them, and a lot less waste. But cleaning that machine's a pain in the butt. So especially for such a small batch. I mean, yes, I've made 20 of these, but there's less than a kilo worth of product there. So it's a big job to clean that machine for less than a kilo worth of product. But you know, it is what it is, and if I can find a way of actually improving my production and waste levels, then new packaging is the way we're going to go. But one piece of advice I will give you is, if you are looking to change packaging on stuff, always trial it for a while. Don't just go, oh yeah, that looks nice, easy to fill, and then throw it out on the shelf, because it might be that in a month's time, 2 months time, maybe the nozzle on this blocks up. I already have an under eye cream at home, which I've been testing in one of these. I've been testing it for about 2 or 3 months, and that is actually working really well. So there shouldn't be any reason that the serum doesn't continue to pump out of there if the under eye cream does, when that's much thicker. But you've always got to test these things, that our product doesn't go out and not work in a few months' time, because that can actually really damage your reputation. I am going to get all of these finished, cleaned up, get my labels on. It's about 12:15, so I think I'm also going to have a little bit of lunch, and hopefully that will help me kind of start to feel a bit better. But I think what I'm going to do for the rest of the afternoon, it is warm out there, so I think I'm going to be better off staying at the shop rather than going home. And what I might do is some of the admin work that I was going to do on Monday, I actually might start doing that now, which will then give me Monday free, because apparently hubby has told me he's got Monday, Tuesday off next week. So if he's got Monday, Tuesday, we can actually spend the day together. So that's what I think I'm going to do after I've had my lunch and these are all labelled up. that's it. I am giving up and I am going home. I've only actually had 2 people come in the shop today. One's just been in as I've thought to shut the door, and she's just looked around and walked off. And then I had another person coming in, another person chasing me for essential oils, and I really should get my butt into gear and start bottling some of them up to sell, because I do have a lot of people asking me for them. But right now I just don't have any space on the shelf, but I know if I did, I'll probably get a few more people wanting them. Something to write down, to note down, and actually get my butt into gear, as I said. But I've not made any sales today, and it's about 2:30 and my head is just getting worse. And I think that's because the chair that I've got, it's not uncomfortable, but it is uncomfortable for sitting at that counter. It is definitely not ergonomically designed for comfort. If ever I get a new shop, that is one of the things I have said to hubby that I will actually be considering in a new space, is actually having a point of sale counter where I can do the stand-up point of sale stuff, but then also have a sit down desk where I can actually then sit down and do the labels and all those other things without kind of being hunched over and all squished in that space. And I can't get close enough because of all the drawers and everything under it. But right now, sitting there doing it, it's really aggravated this ache across my back. So it's got to the point, I've got the music on in the shop in case people come in, and it is just, it sounds like I'm at a rave. It really does. So I can't turn the music off in case someone comes in, because it's going to sound really horrible if there's no music. There will be no atmosphere. So I think I'm going to go home. I'm pretty much going to go home and just sit in the quiet, read my book, and just relax. And hubby's going to be home about 7:30 tonight, so hopefully if I can just sit there in peace and quiet. And the other thing is the air conditioning is really getting to me as well. I hate the feel of air conditioning on my skin. It makes me really sore. It gets all that inflammation in the joints. So I think if I'm at home and in that, so it's not too bad out there now. The real warmth that was there this morning, that's gone. So I think if I just sit at home in the nice warmth that's there now, it will start to ease some of the aches and pains, and then we'll be right for tomorrow, and we'll come in and we'll do the other jobs that are on that board. But I have to go home now. What a miserable wet day it is going to be. It actually rained all night, well, most of the night as well, so there wasn't very much of the roadworks. It did start raining, I think it was about 8 o'clock with a few showers, and then it disappeared. And then at about 1:10 this morning, it came hammering it down. I had to actually get up and go and shut all the windows. in the house because the rain was coming in. So it was nice not to have the roadworks going, but that does mean that that day needs to be pushed on to the end of their expected finish time. But it was nice to actually sleep in the cool. I'm feeling much better today. I still have this real sharp pain in the back of my shoulder here, so I'm going to suspect the other night I did actually sleep and pull or trap, either pull muscles or I've trapped nerves in my back, and it feels like someone's got a knife in there, and every so often they just give it a twist. It's not as bad as it was yesterday. I can actually focus on things, I can think clearly, I don't feel sick from it or anything like that. So feeling much better today. I'm not holding out much hope for it being busy today because the rain is pretty much set in for the day, and usually that means not many people come out into town, but we'll see how it goes. Thankfully though, it is actually quite cool. It's only about 22-23 degrees out there, so I've just put the air conditioning on to take some of the humidity out of the room, and once the shop is actually cooled down enough, I'm going to open my shop door and hopefully get some of that smell wafting out into the street, and whoever is out there might actually be tempted to come in and purchase some stuff, because this week's been pretty bad so far, but you know, you win some, you lose some. What else? So as I said, I am feeling a lot better today. I got home and I wanted to cry when I got home. I pulled up onto the driveway and everything looked like it was nice and peaceful. The guys next door who were getting a pool put in, it looked like the work that they started in the morning had all finished. They'd done all the tiling around their new pool, and I thought, fantastic. And as I turned the engine off in the car and I looked in my rearview mirror, I noticed that the neighbours across the street, they had opened their garage door, which is nothing unusual. It seems every time we get home, their garage door opens because they want to come and chat with us for some reason. But that's a whole other story. I thought, oh, I really can't do this today. I really, really need to get inside. One of the things is our garage is detached from the house, so we've got no choice but to walk back out through the front of the garage and say hello to people. It's terrible, isn't it? But I thought, all right, put your big girl pants on and just do it. So I got out of the car, and as I picked my bag up and I've turned around, I've spotted him bringing the lawnmower down the drive. He's going to mow his front lawn. I'm thinking, of all the days to do this. I hate the sound of the lawnmower as it is. I've always hated the sound of it. I don't like repetitive, consistent noise. It just drives me absolutely batty, and I hate the sound of the lawnmower for it. And I just thought, of all the days to do the lawn mowing, it's on the one day that I come home early from work because I'm not well, and I literally almost burst into tears. So I kind of went and ran off up the driveway and slammed the front door shut because I was just like, no, don't talk to me. But I then went and found myself a nice little dark area to go and sit, snuggled up in some comfy pillows just to give my back a whole lot of support. And then I grabbed my book, turned the light down low on it, because the light, it's not a migraine that I get, but those sort of things really do affect how my head is working. So I turned the light down on the book and I just sat and read for a little while, and I started to feel much better. I do still have that real sharp pain in the back of my shoulder here, but it isn't as bad as it was yesterday. And what I've done is I've just grabbed some of the Dead Sea salts that were sitting on my shelf, and I'm going to take those home tonight, and I'm going to have a bath with those and some magnesium chloride just to really try and work loose whatever that is in my shoulder. I was going to do it last night, and I just thought, I'll never get out of the bath with the way I'm feeling, so I'm not going to do it because our bath's actually quite deep, and it is a bit of a climb to get in and out of it. It's lovely because it's one of these baths where you can actually lie down in it and you are completely covered in water. None of this hanging your knees out or your shoulders out. You are completely covered, but it is hard to get in and out of this bathtub. So I thought, no, won't do it. Otherwise I'll have to have someone help me get out of this bath, and no thanks. Anyway, I'll have a bath tonight with those different salts. As I said, I am feeling so much better, so we should be able to get a bit of work done today. There's actually not a lot I have to do this week. I'm not even making soaps this week, mainly because I don't have any oils, but I will be making both of my foaming face scrubs today, so we'll get on to making those, and then hopefully topping up the body wash as well. And then I did get a notification from Shopify that I need to update something on my website soon, so I might try and do that this afternoon. Alright, let's get on to doing this. I think the shop's cooled down enough that I can actually open that door and start letting the smells waft outside. About 45 minutes until closing time, but I am starting to really crash and the pain in the back of my shoulder is starting to let me know it's still there. So I've decided for the next 40 minutes I'm going to sit and read my book for a bit, but I'm really pleased with what I actually have achieved. So we've got all of those face scrubs all done, they've all been put away. I then realized I actually need to make some face cream and foot cream because I've only got 3 each of those, which I'll have to make tomorrow. So I got on to making the body wash, which was up on my list. I only had enough of my actual pre-made base made up to make 4 bottles of 1 scent. So I did the one that was completely sold out. So that one's been done, but I don't have enough water to make up the base or any more base for my body wash or the foot and face cream that I'm going to make tomorrow. So tomorrow morning I'm going to stop off at the shops on my way into the work and we'll bring that water in. I would stop tonight, but the place where it gets sold, it is chaos on a Friday night, and I do not like taking my car into this little shopping centre on a Friday night because I just know there's so many accidents there on a Friday night. I avoid going in there at all costs, or if I am forced to go in, I actually park down the street and walk up to the shop so that I don't have to get my car scratched or anything. So I'll bring some water in tomorrow, and then we'll get on to finishing the body wash, put on some face cream and some foot cream. I then decided I needed to sit down and keep going through the emails and things I've got there. I've had one from Shopify. I was lucky enough to be able to trial doing the subscriptions on my website, and it's coming to the end of the early access trial of it, and it's now time. I probably will never sign up for another early access from them because I've literally been sitting there for about 45 minutes reloading all of my subscriptions, putting in all what they call widgets, which is where the little boxes that come up on pages that might have things like, well, in this case it will tell you how much it is for the subscription, like to purchase once or subscription. So I've had to go through and reload all of that into the website. So it's taken a lot of effort to get it there, and having to go through it properly to make sure that when they delete one and the new one becomes the permanent thing that everyone has access to, all of the old information will hopefully integrate into the new app that's on the website without any problems. I was kind of thinking that they would just activate the app so that everyone had access to it, but no, you have to reload it. So I probably wouldn't do any other early access things after how long that has taken me, but it's all done. So there's only one more thing I've got to do, but I'm starting to get really sore, and I thought if I mess this up, it could mess up all of the integration. So I'll just leave it until tomorrow, or maybe on my days off to finish it. I do have until next Monday or Tuesday. No, it's next Wednesday actually that I have to finish it. So it's almost done. The only thing that's not done isn't really integral to the integration, but I don't want to mess it up. Anyhow, so I did that, and then I've also been chatting to the guys where I have written off about the printing of the bags. He did come back to me yesterday saying that they were able to do a custom size fabric bag for me, the same size as the paper toddler bags that I use. And I was saying to hubby, look, if it's the same price as getting them paper bag printed, I will still go ahead and get them done, and as long as they're not going to cost me any more than my big bags, because at the moment, as I said, the paper bags are costing me the same price as that big fabric bag, or about almost the same price as that big fabric bag, and it just doesn't make sense in my head that I'm paying that much for paper bags. But anyway, he came back to me today with the price, and I was really shocked at the price. And I was reading through it. I said, okay, well, how much is it then? Because he sent it back with one-sided printing. I said, how much is it then to have two-sided printing, so it's identical to my bigger bag, and also to have the insert that goes into the bottom to give it like that real solid bottom on it. I went and grabbed one so I could show you. So in the bottom of all of these bags, we've got this little insert that goes into the bottom, so when it actually flicks out, it's nice and solid in the bottom. So if you put heavy stuff in, it doesn't kind of bow the bag, it sits nicely in there, and it's, feels a bit more sturdy to carry it. So he said he'd go and get me a price for that, and he came back, told me what the price was to do double-sided printing on the bag plus the insert, and they are a good 30 cents cheaper than the paper bags. So I said, let's do it. I have to order 1,000 of them, which, that will last me a couple of years. Well, no, yeah, about 2 years, I think, because I go through about 500. In fact, let's redo that. It'll probably take me a year to use them, because I actually have two sized paper bags, and I go through about 500 of them each year. So I'm going to say that the 1,000 should last me about a year, maybe a little bit longer, we'll see. But I was absolutely stunned at the price. I thought they were going to be a lot more, because even though they're smaller than this, it is custom. It's not something their machines are set up to do, so they're going to have to change the settings of the machines, and you usually pay more to have that done. So I was very surprised at how much they were, and because they are so much cheaper than getting the brown paper bags or even the white paper bags printed on, I've just said go ahead and get them for me. And then what I'll probably do is actually also have a bit of a incentive for people to bring their bags back to the shop for their next purchase, maybe a discount on the next purchase. So if someone bought me this bag back, I will give them a discount on it, which will encourage people to reuse their bags, whereas most paper bags, people use them and chuck them out, and like on a day-to-day when it's raining, people are going to take that paper bag out into the weather. It's going to get wet, it can't be reused. If it's torrential rain, the bag's going to get ruined before they get anywhere. So I'm really excited to be getting getting 2 different sorts of fabric bags that people can actually use. So really excited about that. And those bags, I do have some customers who keep repeatedly bringing them back to me, mainly those that do the refills with me. They'll bring their empty jars back in those bags, and most of them will bring them back, I know, 10 to 15 times before I actually have to replace them. And one of my customers, she'll bring me this bag here, and there will be, must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think she brings me 8 candles back in one of these bags. So they do actually hold a fair bit of weight and last a long time. So I think they're going to be a fantastic option for me. Really excited. But he's going to send me the final proof. He said tomorrow, but I don't think he realizes tomorrow's Saturday. And he is here in Australia, so I won't get the final proof, like the print proof of it, until Monday. And once that's done, it will be 10 weeks, and then I should have the bags in probably about 11 weeks time, because you have to take in that shipping as well. So super excited. But that is pretty much me for the day. I now have about 40 minutes. God, I can chat, can't I? I'm gonna sit here, read my book, finish my water, and then I'm going to head home for the night. Hubby's on what they call the mid shift. He'll be home about 7:30 again. And yeah, I'll be back in the shop tomorrow, and we've got lots to do. Okay, it is 10 o'clock. I've been in the shop for an hour and a half, and I've done absolutely nothing other than put everything out the front of the shop. My mum came down probably about 8:45, and we've just been standing here chatting and catching up because we haven't seen each other for a couple of weeks. So that's all I've done for the last hour and a half. I was just on time when I came in today. I stopped off and I got my water. I had to go to 2 different IGAs because they were both very low on their supplies, but I did manage to get myself a total of 17 bottles. My shoulder is still sore. Now it's definitely a trapped nerve in the back of my shoulder blade here. The bath last night, it was so nice, so nice. I'm pretty bad when it comes to showers and baths. I can't stand cold water on my skin, so I have a very hot bath, and usually can only stay in for about half an hour because it's so hot. But I had my nice warm hot bath with some Dead Sea salt, some magnesium chloride, and then I also had some bubble bath and a bath bomb from Moo Boo Melt some more. So I popped them into the bath as well, and I stayed in there for about 30 to 40 minutes reading my book. And as I got out, hubby got home, so I went and asked him to put some deep heat into my shoulder, and he said he can feel it's all knotted. He said it's really lumpy and bumpy as he was rubbing the deep heat in. So it's feeling better, but yeah, definitely a trapped nerve in there. Hopefully it works its way out over the weekend. I actually need to get on to doing some work, so I'm going to go and get this water put away, and the first thing I need to do is start working on that body wash, and I also need to get some face cream and foot cream on the go. So what I actually might do, because that takes longer, I will start off with some face cream because that sells quicker than the foot cream. We'll get that in the bain marie, and while it's heating up I can make my body wash base. So need to go and get this lot put away. it's about 12:30. I am starving, so I'm going to stop for some lunch. But in the last 2.5 hours, I have got so much done. So even though it was a bit of a slow start to my morning, I've got lots done. So I'm really happy with where I am up to. I've got my big batch of body wash here. I'm going to leave it sit overnight. If I try and use this now, there's too many air bubbles in there from mixing all the surfactants together. So I'll fill my bottles up and then in a couple of days' time it drops. So it's best to leave this for 24 hours just for it to settle, and then I can make my body wash and know I get the right amount in each of my bottles. I've got the face cream sitting here just going into its cool down phase, so we can add some preservative and some other bits and pieces into it. And I've also got all the tubes ready for potting up tomorrow, and we've got the foot cream as well. So out the back here I do have the foot cream going. Whenever I am making 2 batches of cream, I always write on the top what it is so I don't get them confused when they're sitting on the side, especially if I'm doing bulk batches. So we've got the foot cream sitting there. I just took its temperature a moment ago and it's sitting at about 70 degrees, which is not hot enough to actually combine the 2 phases together. So I'm hoping by the time I've finished having some lunch they are going to be warm enough. So in between making all these things, I've had a number of customers coming into the shop as well. Anne, who runs Burnett Bath and Body, she came in. She's one of my patron members and has bought several things from me as well. She came in to say hello, and she was with her daughter. Her husband did pop in as well, and then he went to go and see what they were going to have for lunch, but it was nice to meet the family. I also had a few other customers coming in as well, so we've had quite a good morning, and it's been quite productive so far. But as I said, I am hungry, so I'm going to go and sit and eat some lunch. Alright, so that back wall is now all clean. As I was doing it, I'm thinking I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing this. It was absolutely killing me, and every so often I'd put just a little bit too much pressure in the wrong way, and the pain would either go straight up my neck or down my arm, down my back, whichever way I was actually leaning at the time. And I'm thinking, well, I've half done it and I can't leave. I was spraying it with some sugar soap. I can't just leave the sugar soap to dry on the wall, because then it's really hard to get those sort of spray marks back off the wall. So I thought, I've got to keep doing it now, I've done it. And then all of a sudden I heard this big pop come out of my shoulder, and I thought, that's it, I've done it. I'm out for a few days. But whatever it is, it's released that trapped nerve in the back there. There's that dull ache now that you get after having something trapped, but oh, I can move and it doesn't hurt, and I can pick things up, and oh gosh, so maybe cleaning the walls was a good thing. But they are now clean. I've got all the marks off it. It's looking nicer, and I know there's no dust on those walls now. I do need to get down on the floor and clean the skirting boards off just to get some of that dust off of there, but it is looking much better out there now. So yay, win, clean walls, better shoulder. It, as I said, it does still have that real dull ache, but at least it's not taking my breath or giving me headaches, so that is really good. It's about 20 minutes until I am due to close my door. I have had a few people coming in today, a couple of my regulars as well. Some of the ones I hadn't seen before Christmas had popped in, so I got to have a chat with them. I've packed the orders I had come in, ready to go out Monday. All of my creams have all had their cool down stuff put in, you know, preservative and all that stuff. And then that is pretty much it. Everything I needed to do for today, everything on that board has been ticked off. The only thing I now need to do is separate that body wash up for all the different smells, which we'll do tomorrow, and we'll pop those creams up as well. Hopefully it's going to be another beautiful day. It has been. A lot of people have come in and said it's so warm out there. So hopefully tomorrow will be a nice day, not too warm but just warm enough. So yeah, I'll find something to do for 20 minutes. Okay, it is Sunday, it is market day, last day of my working week. It is quite cool out there, but I'm probably going to put the aircon on for a couple of hours because the buster out there, she's a little bit too high-pitched, a little bit too monotone for my liking, but good on her for giving it a go. So we'll get some nice music going in here, get it nice and cool so people can come on in. Things I'm going to do today, we're going to pot up the face cream and foot cream, and I'm also going to make some of those body washes. And something else I've taken to doing on a Sunday, usually just after lunchtime as it starts to kind of wind down, I get onto the computer and I start doing all of my Canva posts for the following week. So I'll try and get that done today. It's just one less thing than I have to do on a Monday. So, and on a Sunday I look around and see what sort of things I've decided I'm going to talk about for the week. So I'm going to get on to doing that. I've got a couple of minutes before my official opening time, but I'm going to try and open the doors up now because it is busier out there than it has been for the last few weeks. So hopefully we can get a few of those early sales. Okay, so as you can see, I'm home in the office. I'm on the computer. I'm actually editing Saturday and today's footage so we can get this out for Monday or Tuesday. Now, I know I did say at the beginning of the week that I would have all those soaps, have all their photos edited and up online so that they're ready to go by the time this vlog comes out. I wasn't expecting to have pulled all those muscles and nerves in my back this week, so that has really delayed or stopped me from being able to get those photos edited. So if anyone was interested in any of those soaps, just give me a few more days to get them onto the website. I'm going to try and edit the photos on my Monday or Tuesday, but hubby and I do actually have some other plans which are quite important that we need to get done. So I'll only have a little bit of time in the afternoon to do them, but I will try and get them done. They'll definitely be up before the end of February because I really want to get those soaps up onto the website. Now, one other thing I did mention at the beginning of the week was I was going to show you the lather test on the coconut or cocoa nut soap bar that I did. Let's head to the bathroom and we'll go and do it.
So I forgot to bring the tripod home, so hopefully we can do this. And there are going to be shadows because the lighting in this bathroom is awful. But here is our soap. Let's get a bit of water going on it. I have been using it in the shower, though to be honest this is going to go into hubby's bathroom. I really like the soap, and I want to make this top half of the soap into like a Cocoa Luxe bar or something. There's too much exfoliant in this soap for my liking, but I know that hubby is absolutely gonna love this bar. It's a really skinny piece I brought home, so it's not going to stand up. But you can see for a coconut soap, that produces the most creamiest lather. Usually coconut soap has these big, huge, fluffy bubbles. But because of the coconut water and the coconut milk powder that's in here, it's got this beautiful, creamy, silky lather. And I know you can't feel it, but it feels absolutely amazing on the hands. And even though this is just coconut oil soap, there was that little bit of shea butter in here as well, which is also going to contribute to this sort of creaminess. It's not drying on the hands at all, but yeah, that's a lovely stable lather that this soap bar creates. So I'm going to hopefully make it, as I said, as a Cocoa Luxe bar as well, and I'll hopefully work on that next week once I go and pick up my oils.
Okay, so there it is for this month's vlog. Thank you so much for coming along with me this month. I know I didn't do nearly as much as what I normally do because of what I did to my shoulder at the start of the week, which was completely unexpected and a right pain in the butt as well. But we got through it. And I still actually did manage to achieve quite a bit of work as well. Next month I hope to be sharing a few of the things that hubby and I have been working on. So look forward to that one. But otherwise, thank you so much for coming along on this month's vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one. I'll see you then. Bye.